The test doesn't include real examples of speech. Isn't this artificial? How can you judge someone's real speaking ability?
Well, I think it does include real samples of speech. I mean, these are authentic speech samples which are in the test. But let's look at that question. So I think there are two ways in which the test is authentic. First, in the language which the test takers interact with in the items, and secondly, in the scoring. So looking at the first one, when we develop these items, we implement procedures to ensure authenticity. Now, one is that our item writers don't produce test questions out of their own heads. That would be inauthentic. What we encourage our item writers to do is listen to real samples of speech. And when they're item writing, they have the television on. They're listening to daytime cookery programs, or they've got the radio on, and they're listening to National Public Radio, or they go out to coffee shops and eavesdrop on people having ordinary conversations, and then they collect samples of language which are being used every day, and they develop items that way. So we ensure that the language in the first place is very natural, and that in fact that it's language that's been used, that has been spoken by someone. So we have our item texts drafted in this way. And in the recording studio, we encourage our voice talents. By the way, our voice talents are ordinary people, they're not actors. We encourage them to say the items naturally. So we don't have them read out the item prompt like this in a way that's being read. Rather, they look at the item, perhaps they put it aside, and then they just say it naturally as they would. Sometimes they change the language because they're talking naturally. And they might change one or two words, and that's fine. We don't correct them. If they say it like that, that's how it felt normal to them, and so we then keep that as our item. We also ensure that they don't overact or overham the way they speak. They're just told to speak naturally. So in that way, we ensure we have natural language presented to test takers during the test. And then the scoring is authentic, remember. So the scoring models are trained with a reference model of native speakers. The way that the native speakers respond to the item is, for us, the correct way to respond to the item. We have no other way of knowing what a correct response is. So if native speakers respond this way because that feels natural to them, then that's how we expect the answer to be responded to. And the scoring models are dependent on this. And although there are degrees of correctness, a test taker may respond in a way similar to this or not similar to this, that's our reference model. And so these are the two ways in which we have authentic test questions and authentic scoring.